Hey guys, coming at you today to do a TruStandard drill. TruStandard is basically defined as an application of the fundamentals to achieve speed, accuracy, and to do it consistently. And of course, I like to focus a lot of those things from concealment, so from the draw and being able to do those things. And how we judge these things are by accuracy, where our bullet lands, and time on how fast it takes us to do it. And there's a balance between speed and accuracy as it relates to distance from our target. So the closer we are to our target, especially in more like self-defense scenarios, things like that, the faster we have to be able to execute these things. The further we are away, the more accurate we want to be, and of course increase that speed as well. So this drill is not really a scenario drill or anything like that. It's just a drill to help us with the fundamentals of getting shots on target fast and accurately. And here I am to try to set a standard. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically shoot a string of fire at 3 yards, and we're not going to leave 3 yards. We're going to stay at 3 yards, and then we may work our way back in later videos, but 3 yards is where we're going to stay. And our goal is to get all 6 shots of the string inside the A zone. And we're going to start at 3 seconds. So I have my timer set at 3 seconds. I'm going to go slow and deliberate to make sure that I've got the draw down, to make sure that I have my hands wrapped around the gun how I want them, to make sure my fingers place upon the trigger, everything along those lines. So that's kind of the goal of what we're doing. Thinking, focusing, putting our minds upon what it is that we're doing, not just coming out here and shooting really fast or anything like that, but building upon that foundation of the fundamentals of speed, accuracy, and consistency. So once you've mastered a time, and once you're just completely, absolutely comfortable with the time, start working your way down. So here we go, we're at 3. So we're at 263, and our shots weren't necessarily perfect. Felt the gun move around a little bit, so I would spend some time here. If I'm not happy with where I'm at, spend some time there and just say, you know what, I'm going to commit myself to doing this better. Specifically for me, I just kind of felt like my grip was just not where it should be. I felt a lot loosey-goosey on that grip. First 6 shots of the day, okay. What can we do to improve upon that? Let's taper up and try it again. So we're going to go to 2.5 now. And we're just going to, again, from concealment, apply it, see our sight picture, see that clear sight picture, go over that A zone or our taped up A zone at this point, and execute to the best of our abilities. Okay, so we're at 241, which means we're staying within that time that I want to stay in. We're not increasing our time. We want to stay at a good, consistent speed. Had a flyer there. But other than that, we did fairly well for that time. So let's pick it up a notch. So now that we did 250, we're going to drop it down to 210. I don't know why. I just said maybe that might be a good time to shoot for. So we're going to go at 210. And then we're going to eventually work our way down to a level in which we're going to come to our breaking point. So here we go. Forgot to put our 6th shot in there, and we did it in 242. Let's see, our first 6 shots were in 163. First 5 shots were in 163. So had a short stroke, which led to that. That's okay. Now let's look at our target. Okay, so we're still keeping. That was my 6th shot. That was silly Billy Goats. This is okay with that speed that we have working on there. If we feel comfortable with that speed and that accuracy as it relates to our distance, there's a couple things we can do. We can decrease the shot timer, which is what we're going to do, or we can increase the distance, which is what I would suggest you do as well. After you've mastered a certain time at a certain distance and you feel absolutely comfortable with executing that every single time, move on, go further. All right, let's go to 1. All right, so now we've set our timer for 190. Again, we're looking for that breaking point. If we find a breaking point where our shot leaves that A zone, or if we find a breaking point to where we're not meeting that time, or we're not staying within, 5/100ths of a second of that time, either plus or minus, then we should probably slow ourselves back down, try to master the previous step, and then move forward again. So here we go, 3 yards, 6 rounds. No more bullets. And here we are, we're at 176. I'll show you the shots. 176, not a bad time. Not a bad time at all. But obviously we're not skimping on our accuracy. Our accuracy is staying pretty good. So if our accuracy is doing okay, let's start pushing our breaking point. Let's go either faster with our trigger finger, which is kind of be difficult for me to do, because those were 1.7 splits. I had a 1.6 in there. I don't really shoot any faster than that, but we're certainly going to try our best, and you're probably going to see this group start to open up a little bit as we push our speed. Let's go further. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've set the par time for 170. Again, this is from concealment at 3 yards, and we're going to try our best not to leave that A zone. We're going to see what happens. So here we are, we're at 165. 165. And again, we got some 3 really good shots, 1, 2, 3. We started to see, based off of the other groups that we had, we started to see this kind of open up a little bit. This is probably my first shot, if I remember the sequence in my mind. This is probably a first shot, which is natural for me coming from and shooting from appendix. All right, let's take it a little bit further. Let's try go push it a little bit faster, shall we? Now we've set the shot timer to 160. It's not gonna happen that I'm able to get 6 rounds in this A zone and under 160 at 3 yards from concealment. It's not going to happen, but we're still gonna try it. We're gonna push ourselves. We pushed ourselves this far, and we're gonna see what we come up with. Baby Jesus, help me not embarrass myself. Oh, we did it! Holy goodness gracious, 150. And you think the shots would be bad too, right? Shots would be bad. They're okay. This was my first shot, I believe. I don't know, I'll have to go back and look at the replay. Stay within that A zone. We're not lined with that A zone if you see our other shots, but we're right here. That's okay though. So 156, very cool. Can we push it further? What's our failure point? All right, boys and girls, we've set our shot timer to 150. We're gonna see if we can push it a little bit faster. It's not gonna happen. I know what I said last time, but it's certainly not gonna happen this time. Means I have to get like 4 rounds close to under a second. I don't think that's possible for me right now. So here we go, pushing it harder. Well, we did a 156 again. So we didn't come off of that our first 3 rounds. First round was in 170. First rounds were in 106. But the problem was our first shot was not on target. So we did come out of that A zone. So what does this tell us? Well, this tells us and teaches us about failure points when it comes to speed, the application of speed upon the handgun and upon the fundamentals. And really what it comes down to is if you've not mastered a certain level, that's okay. A lot of people want to get really, really fast, very, very quickly. And what they don't understand is that it takes building upon the foundation of the fundamentals and applying those fundamentals with a degree of just the best that we can, thinking about these things the best that we can. Nobody gets to the Olympics by being really talented. They get there because they have to put in work, right? Talent only takes you so far. So you may be naturally talented with a gun, and you may come out to the range and you're like, oh, this is a good starting point for me, blah, you know, and you may go super fast, and that's okay. But understand that when you're able to master, you know, 1 round in under a second, 2 rounds in under a second with your first draw and getting that sight picture and sight alignment, when you're able to master those things, that's extremely helpful. That means our minds are working fast, our brains are working fast, and that to me is a good thing. We want to be able to do that in our shooting. So what this is to demonstrate is simply just how to just practice, and practice from a standpoint of a foundation, and then increasingly put up those tiers until your house of cards comes crumbling down. As we saw, the house of cards when it comes to accuracy came down, so we're going to stop there, and we're going to build, we're going to go back, and we're going to continue to build upon that speed that we have there. Or if we want to make it more challenging, I may just increase the distance. But there you are, Barrett's build drill at 3 yards, not 7. Hopefully this is a good standard for you. You can go to my website, TruStandard.net, and look at the standards in which I place people in, or want to set for people. And yeah, hold fast, stay the course. I'm Barrett Fawbush.